What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Conversation Lab, your favorite show about our favorite game, Star Wars Unlimited. I'm here with Mike and Jay. No Jim this week, but we're here to talk some Star Wars. I'm back after that
You are.
that
amazing last episode.
that
was
happened
probably
last
the best podcast
Sorry,
we've
everybody.
had in a long time.
week. And we got our bunch of people in the live chat from our members only club.
Yeah, thank you all for joining
Yep.
us on this fine Monday morning.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm just gonna shout out the people I see because I want to acknowledge that they're awesome.
Do
So we got D Fresh V, we got Fifi, we got Larry, we got Gamer Dad, we got Maverick, we got Fox Leader, Handlebar. I think I got everybody.
We got
if
Will.
anybody else is out there, Will's in there. Hey, there's Will. Yeah. All right, we're here. If you want to be in the members only club, head to unplayable.gg and hop in with us and come hang because we got lots of other content you can check out.
It's a good time.
Yep. And you don't have to be in the club to grab a pair of your participants.
No, you don't.
They're hot and flowing off the shelves right now. So
They are
Yeah.
by far our best-selling item.
yes.
You almost threw me and put those up,
I know.
too. What a shame that would have been.
You know, it just like reinforces the fact that memes are powerful.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just, constant reminder.
That's so good. All right, guys, it's June. It's hot. We're getting ready for Galactic Championships in like a month and a week or two. We got Set 5s coming. You guys were on late night gaming this week, playing some webcam games.
Yeah, that was fun.
So go check out that VOD. Huge shout out to Loopy and the late night crew for having us on. Me, Jim, and Mike all showed up and all played some games, and it was very fun. I had a blast. It was very late. I'm not used to staying up that late anymore now that I'm a dad. So I was struggling there at the end, but I started off strong, and at least I got to play first and get it all out so that I could like snooze the rest of the time.
I very impressed that you made it that far because I was tired and I'm 3 hours behind you.
And I didn't even try. So,
Yeah.
you know. No, that's awesome. There were a couple moments where Jim like did something like completely, I don't know, just like so not Jim. And I was like, that dude is like half asleep for sure. He's like half dead.
Well, he had to wake up early the next day too. So
I know.
he did it to himself.
Yep. All right. You guys want to hop into PQ results over Father's Day weekend?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why
And
not?
shout out to all the dads out there. We are recording this on a Monday, so Father's Day was yesterday. But happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I'm sure there's a lot of you listening.
Heck yeah.
So
All right.
what PQs we got here, Coach? Yours, right? You went to a PQ? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Me?
You were playing Twin Sons.
Yeah,
I
played
was
Twin Sons.
Yeah.
Twin Sons PQ, baby.
Okay, we'll get to that. Although I don't even
Don't
know.
tempt David with a good time.
Yeah, that would be weird. Okay, here's where I want to start. You guys can feel free to start anywhere, but that third one from the top, Barcelona, 58 player PQ in Barcelona.
Yep.
Check out 6th place.
Oh, nice. Your regionals deck.
Yeah, it's Boba Pilot Tarkin Town by Eddie or Eddie. I don't know how to say that, but he has been on that list. Like I've used
That's
a lot
awesome.
of his thoughts trying to think through that visual view did it to me as well in Melee earlier. I don't know if it's like
I don't know, maybe it needs to be
their
updated
website or
something
whatever.
like that. Yeah.
But he's been on this deck I think since like the set dropped. And has been a huge proponent of this, so I got to give him a shout out that he did it. He made top 8 in a PQ.
That's awesome. With Give In to Your Anger in the deck.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Well, that's
I played that card on Saturday in one of my Twin Sons games, and it was so sick in that format.
That's the one where it forces them to fight into one of your guys on their next action.
Yeah, you deal a damage to an enemy unit, and then that player's next action has to be an attack with that unit against another unit if possible, but it doesn't have to be yours. So I had no ground units, and I forced my opponent's Piet to trade into my other opponent's other
What?
leader, their Boba or whatever, and they kill each
Oh
other,
my
and I got to just stand by and watch.
Okay, that's hilarious.
It was great.
Look at you enjoying Twin Sons, Mike. I feel
no,
like
I've
switched.
come around. I've come around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, give into your anger. That when I feel like when Django was going crazy, I was like trying to figure out if like give into your anger could be a possible like something to slow Django down. I never actually tried it, but anyways,
Yeah.
this is sweet. And
Yeah,
Mr.
this
Bones
is
is in
awesome.
it, so really it's a Mr. Bones list. So
Of course.
yeah.
Nice.
What else you guys see?
Our friend and rival,
Mm.
Christian Toby, won a PQ with
That's right,
Cad
right here.
Blue. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Cad Blue.
100-person mini Indianapolis tournament.
100 people. Holy
Oh,
crap.
and he beat Ray Tan in the finals.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's I mean, way to go, Christian. I do
It
feel
probably has
bad.
a pretty good matchup in the
Ray Tan getting second place like in regionals and then second place in PQ.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's tough.
Wow.
But
I need to
deck's
see what this
awesome.
deck does when I'm not playing Han Green, because I feel like Han Green just absolutely steamrolled this deck. I think I
Did you
just,
play
I don't
against
know.
any Han Greens? I played a Han Data Vault.
That ain't where you want to be.
Oh, that's Han 2.
yeah,
never
Han
mind.
2.
Lots of Han 2s.
Another Han 2.
Apparently, this is a like super good deck, and he's a great pilot, and he plays like off meta stuff, which is really
Did
cool.
he drop? Wait, scroll back down. Did he drop any games?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right
he did.
here
Okay, against
Boba
Kira
Yellow.
Data Vault and the Han 2. Yeah.
Oh
but
wow.
but top 8, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Come on,
Boba
man.
Yellow.
The
That's
Mandalorian
crazy.
himself.
It's because you're not playing that many units early, probably, and all
Yeah.
that indirect.
You probably just take like a ton of damage.
Interesting. And like droid missile platform, it's probably pretty good there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He killed it though. 100 players.
that's
Winning
awesome.
100 player PQ is nothing to snuff at.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
So
Yeah,
congrats, Christian. That's awesome. There's more people doing well with the deck that I want to take for my PQ, which is cool. There was that one, and there was a second place in Spain. So it seems like this deck is very popular in Europe and doing really well in Europe. So I'm gonna see what I can do with it here.
Okay.
Because I have really been enjoying playing that deck. It's been a lot of fun.
There's a lot of haters out there. There's
although-
some...
I'm now
nice.
very tempted to play just like Giga Ramp Bosk because this also sounds really fun.
Did that win?
Yeah.
How many players was it?
It was like 68 or something like that.
60.
it?
Yeah.
60 players. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's
I mean, I do love Bosk. I do love
yeah.
Bosk.
I played against that at regionals, and in many ways it was like I cannot slow this down. I can't, like, I felt that was the one match where I'm like, I felt like I have absolutely zero game into this.
Yeah.
And I got tossed so hard.
I feel like Han Green struggles against rampy decks too. So seeing more like of those kinds of decks being played is not fun for me.
Yep. Data Vault's still just doing Data Vault
Yeah,
things.
Data Vault's still very dominant here.
Do you think the prevalence of Data Vault will make people more nervous to run the 28 health 4 spaces?
28 health is a lot different than 25.
Yeah, it feels a lot better than 25.
Yeah. Yeah. But now that people are so used to 33, it's like that mental thing.
It's the same. It's the same mathematical difference between like the 30 health base and the 25 health base. So now it just feels like it's shifted up a little bit, where it's like Data Vault or a 28. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people will be more nervous to run the 25 health force spaces than the 28 health force spaces. And the force payoffs are very powerful. So I don't think it's too hard to justify, paying 2 health for that.
Yeah.
Huh. It'll be interesting. Halp Green, Vader Green. Like, what are we looking at right now?
There's a lot of interesting stuff here. Yeah.
I think people are just like having fun at this point.
Yeah. It's so close to like Galactics. It's so close to the next set. Like everybody's kind of mentally on to the next set, which we talked about last week. But like I'm really struggling because it's like I want to be practicing for the
Mm.
PQ that I have in like 2 weekends basically, and it's like it means that I've got to play set 4 still when set 5 is basically out. So
Yeah,
it's just a
and
weird timing.
and because I was not on the cast last week, it's not necessary, but I am gonna just offer my hearty support of, heck yes, leaks suck, don't do it. Like, Jay, I thought you did a great job of just laying down the law last week. Just saying, like, you ruined it. You ruined
Yeah.
a lot of people's fun by selfishly doing that. So I want to just add my, like, yeah, because again, that's exactly what's happening here. It's like how it kind of ruined the end of set 4, and there's just we're gonna be with set 5 for so much longer now. I'm really bummed that happened. So
I haven't looked at this yet. This just caught my eye.
This is what someone in our chat was talking about. It came in 31st out 73 with 4-3, and then Iden Data Vault took it
That's wild.
in
that
Austin.
was Maverick. Yep.
Yeah. Good old Maverick.
Yeah, just like a very hard control. Well, yeah, pretty hard control.
It's
There's,
weird. Like, why would
20
you want to
units.
play Iden over Kira? I feel I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't have Barrage in their deck.
It's
They
in
have
the
two
side.
sideboard.
What?
How many
Oh.
early units are you actually
None.
playing? That's
Zero.
why.
Yeah.
Like Lieutenant
just wanna
Chilton
go,
is
like,
the only one.
they're
Chilton on 4, OB on 2. Like
they want to go like turn 2 Merciless Contest or Power of the Dark Side like every game probably.
yeah.
Yep. They're just I kill you. You play something, I
That
kill
seems
it.
really cool.
Nebula Ignition.
Oh, that would
Oh,
be
there's 2 of them? Oh, wow.
miserable
Okay.
to play.
So it's like 5 board wipes.
Just to get
That's-
to the late game. Is there like Vigilance in the deck? Is it a mill deck?
Probably, yeah, there's 3 Vigilance.
Yep,
I'm
and restock in the
fascinated
main.
by this deck. They dropped 1 round. And they probably ID'd this round.
Yep. Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh gosh.
It's just
He says it was on C Raptor stream if you want to check it out.
I will definitely check it out.
wipe
that
the
sounds
board
kinda
5
fun.
times a game deck.
Crazy.
I definitely will check that out. Because this sounds
All
fun
right.
to me and nobody else. There's
you-
literally 1 super laser tech in the deck.
3 resupply
3
carriers.
yeah, 3 resupply
and 3
carriers.
resupply.
That's fair. That's fair. That's what if one fascinating deck. It's like, is the plan just like you don't have time to ramp early, so you just like do all your removal early and then
And then
ramp when you can play removal at the same time and then get to your huge stuff.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
interesting. Very cool. 2
Hmm.
Annihilators in the main board. Like I need to watch this deck. Sweet.
All right. There was also a Piet Blue that made top 8 in that same.
Oh, and that same one?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Look at 8th.
Yeah. Wait, 2 Piet Blues.
Wait. Whoa. Okay.
Two.
We got a little Austin.
That's pretty cool.
Meta.
That's very cool.
I was
The
on this deck for a
CR90.
while. I really
Man.
enjoyed it. But I just never felt like it could get there. But look at that.
That's awesome.
8 ground units.
Yeah.
3 Corvus. I haven't seen Corvus in that shell. So that's
I
cool.
can see that being good.
What a weird top 8.
Yeah. Very this tournament, very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Super cool.
All right.
Wow.
Well, cool. Good for you guys innovating down in Texas. That's
Doing
that's
cool
pretty sweet.
stuff.
Is that garbage rollers down there? Is that Inception and all those?
I think they live in that
And
area.
Tyler and all them?
They live in like a Dallas area, I think.
Oh, Dallas, not Austin. Yeah. That's right. Who's it?
What's the
I feel like I recognize the name.
I
Is
don't
that's not Bucketheads, is it?
know.
Is it Justin
Where?
in Austin at that shop? I feel like they're down there.
I think he's in that area. I think. No, wait, isn't he in Dallas as well? I think he's in the Dallas area as well.
He played.
know.
But
Texas
he might have
played-
played at that event.
Texas is too big, man.
Yeah, he played
Yeah,
Cat
Justin
Green.
was there. Yeah, he was playing Cad Green.
Yeah, he said
Got
he
it.
bubbled
Okay.
out,
Oh yeah.
which is very sad.
All right. We sort of like for our main discussion, we're gonna talk about formats today because FFG has a live stream this week where they're going to talk about formats, and there's sort of a hint that maybe there's something coming. We have no idea what that is. We have no insider info. But we figured, hey, there's actually probably some stuff we're talking here. So we're gonna jump into a discussion about formats. I have no idea. We did not talk about this beforehand. But I've got one thing I'd like to talk about. But before we do that, how do you guys feel about the competitive format being Premier? Like, and that's it. Like, Premier is if you're gonna compete, that's the thing. Is that your ideal format for a TCG?
That's a nuanced question, I think.
Nuance away then.
Well, it's one thing that I've come to realize lately too is that so you look at something like chess and the game never changes. And people still have spent years and years and years studying this game and playing it. Uh a TCG changes every 4 months. So it's hard to be competitive and be able to stay up to par with like what the Premier format is when it's changing so frequently, in addition to like keep up with other formats if like the Premier circuit is multi-formatted. Now, I've always talked about how I thought it was cool that Flesh and Blood's World Championship, they do draft plus plus they're constructed or whatever. I still think that's cool, but I think it is very nuanced with like how do you keep it the premier competitive format without diluting it too much?
Yeah, I have very strong opinions on this, but I don't know if I want to get into them until after like we talk about like what some other options are.
Yep.
I guess like my basic thesis is that like uh it's important to not split the player base too much between too many formats. And the more formats you add, the more you split the player base between those formats, and it makes it harder um, to make events work. Just straight up, like if everybody knows that Premiere is the competitive format, everybody's on the same page. That's what everybody's talking about. All the content's about that. All the decks that people build are around that, and it's a very like singular thing. Once the player base grows to a point where they can support more formats, if people really want that, then I feel like that's like sure, like Magic does that, but also Magic is like its own beast.
Right.
Mhm.
But
Same with chess.
We
Like chess has multiple like blitz and then classical
sure,
and stuff. But chess has like the most players in the entire world
for some
of
reason.
any like game.
But
uh
I have no problem with uh, a draft format or a limited format being included in competitive play because it's uh like you don't have to prepare much ahead of time. Like when you play, you don't have to build a deck for it. You don't have to like think about it in the same way as you do like a premier format. I think there should be like one constructed deck building format that is uh like the standard competitive format, and then like limited is fine too because of the nature of how limited works.
Yeah, I think I agree with most of what you said. I think we probably feel that tension when we're talking about spoilers, and inevitably when we talk about it, we talk about it in with the filter of Premiere.
Sure.
Like that's the only way. I'm the one that usually says, "Hey, and Twin Suns and Draft
Right.
and these." But it does seem like the majority of the conversation is simply Premiere. Um, are okay. How do I phrase this?
I think
I
there's a lot that goes into this question though. Like it depends on what you're asking. Are you asking they should have a sectors regionals for draft or for sealed or for trilogy or for the what is it, eternal format? Or are you saying in addition at these PQs we are going to have some kind of other competitive formats?
yeah, I think PQs should have a little bit more variance of what they could do. Instead of it's just every
PQs.
PQ. Yeah. I think at PQs there should be some level of like, because there are so many PQs now. Like now I feel like it's expanding and there are quite a bit. Where it would be interesting to follow PQs or give people opportunities to earn the invite. Not just in one way, but in multiple ways. I think it gets trickier at sectors and regionals. Although I do think Mike may have a point that it could, if you split the player base into two different formats, and maybe it just becomes diluted water. And
well, Fab does this. Some of their what do they call them? Pro Tour qualifiers and like skirmishes are either Blitz, which is like their 20 health format, or sealed or something like that. So they do that for their lower tier things like PQs.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have I genuinely wonder if there was a draft PQ, if that would attract the same amount of people, less amount of people, more people. Like, would you get some casual people who would actually show up because they think, I actually could just draft a nuts deck and spike a huge tournament?
You have to be super careful too, because like when Fab does draft at Worlds or something, they open the packs. They have the packs set there with stamps on them and crap. Because like people can show up to these PQs and bring cards.
Yeah, it's way easier to cheat.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I was wondering how they did that in like highly competitive events because people.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Are stupid.
I played in a Magic Grand Prix like 15 years ago, and you had to like open your pack and then like write down every card in the pack, and then you did the thing. It was, I don't know. It made the process kind of a pain.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem necessarily with a limited PQ. Like, it means that I don't have to build imagine there was like a big push from some store or something like that. So like somebody wanted to do like a pauper PQ where it's just common cards and uncommon cards. Like, I personally don't have any interest in that. It means that I have to like consider an entirely new format that like I won't ever play again probably. Like, I have to build a deck and go find cards that I don't put in my decks. Like, like that to me that's what Twin Suns is for. It's like, that's my avenue to use a bunch of cards that I don't usually use. And I feel like I don't know, the game is not like the game's pretty accessible, I feel like. So I don't know like what you gain by adding another format that's not draft or sealed.
Okay, well then, do you think draft or sealed should be competitive? Like, ignore Twin Suns or
yeah. I have no problem with draft or sealed being competitive.
Do you think it should be?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, this is something that I mentioned. I think it might have been in our last podcast. I'm not sure. It may have been before that. And I'm gonna pose this to David. Do you think in order to be the world champion at a game like Star Wars Unlimited, should you be the best at everything? Like, there's only 3 formats: sealed, draft, or premiere. Should you be the best at all 3 of those, or 2 of those, being draft being the probably more competitive of the 2 limited format?
I think I lean ever so slightly toward a system where no. So basically, no. I think I lean like slightly toward no, that you shouldn't have to be great at both. Like, you could just be the premier world champion. And I also think there could be like a limited or like draft world champion in a different setting. Like, I think you could have like 2 different events, 2 different opportunities. This is one thing I actually did really like about Keyforge competitive events, is that there was like the Archon set, like, hey, bring your best deck and just, know it really well and go for it. And then they had sealed, and it's like, hey, you get 3 decks, you pick one, and can you be the sealed one? And then they started adding, Alliance, and they did some other things. And so at these big events, they actually do have multiple like world champions or regional champions or whatever based on the format that you really enjoy. And they're able to run them on different days. So there are people that do both. I'm sure in some settings you'd have to choose either or, but to me that's more interesting. It gives you a little bit more agency in like what you want to focus on. To Mike's point, I do think there is a risk that you split the player base. I just don't think it's like so dangerous to do that it would hurt the game.
I don't think that applies to limited. I want to be
Okay.
super clear
Just
about
draft
that.
or
Yeah.
sealed.
Like if they
Probably
did
just draft.
a block constructed format where it's just like the latest 3 sets, I feel like that splits the player base. Like Star Wars Destiny when they did like the trilogies format and the like normal constructor format. I don't like that necessarily because it's like very similar.
Because it's just Premiere.
Yeah, it's just Premiere with less cards.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, cool. Like maybe some people want that, but like I don't understand why they would do that. I think I think I'm like convincing myself now that draft absolutely should be a competitive format and a competitive format that FFG pushes. Because I think it benefits them and it benefits the game in that more people will be like forced to be interested in draft.
Yeah.
And draft sells packs.
Yeah.
So it's like if draft becomes like a competitive format that people are trying to like be good at, it means that like more content creators are incentivized to create content around draft. It means that more people are incentivized to go play in draft events weekly to try and improve at that format. So I feel like it's just like something that FFG should push.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Just on
totally
a very
agree.
base level.
And like if we're honest, like the way draft exists in Star Wars Limited is super interesting with the leaders, with the aspect system. I mean, they designed the game from top to bottom, like
it's
you said,
very
like,
unique
with
for
draft in mind. Yeah. I think it's very good. I understand it's season 0 of competitive play, but if they don't start adding it to competitive play in season 1, like I'll be shocked.
I feel like
it just it would be a miss. 100% because it plays so well. And it was weird. It's weird hearing competitive players say, "Oh yeah, I haven't drafted since set 2." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" Like like that to me, I'm like, it's so fun. It's and they, I mean, I think at Galactic Championships on Saturday, they're doing the big it's like the big draft event. So it's like 250 players or something that you draft in multiple pods. It's only 6 rounds, so I don't think there's like a champion necessarily, but so it's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it's a good step in the right direction.
Mhm.
That will be my favorite event. I'm more excited about that event than anything else at Galactics for that reason because it is so fun. So I hope it does get introduced. Like I hope we see a draft PQ somewhere or sealed PQ or something.
How do you think they should implement this? Like, I don't think sealed should be a competitive format.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't like sealed very much, but
I like draft.
No, yeah. Sealed's kind of a trash format.
How do you think is this a completely different circuit or like event? Like,
I don't know.
Or do you incorporate it as one?
Like in the point, like, or winning points toward your invite for Galactics next year?
Or not even that. I think that's fine. But like if we go to Worlds, should it just be Premier the entire tournament or should there be draft involved? Or
I
should
think it
the
should
draft be separate, different?
I'm a fan of like if you're the world champion, you should be good at both, and you should like there should be a phase where you do a draft and then a phase where you do constructed, and maybe the constructed is weighted a little bit more highly than the draft, but like draft is still a component of it. Because I feel like that is the thing that reinforces the fact that draft is a like important part of the game if you're a competitive player. And that the players who are best should know how to do that as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I find it hard to believe that like a top performing competitive premier player is also not going to be good at draft. So,
right, it shows your mastery of the game, like knowing what the cards are in the set, what are your outs. I think, yeah, back when we played Flesh and Blood, like the hand cams of like when you got to see what people are picking.
Yeah,
like,
that's
always
really
interesting.
Yeah, really fun to watch.
Content. Yeah.
So here's the thing for me. That's a big difference between Fab's draft being competitive and Swoo's. is SWU has like 16 leaders in a single set. And I think some of those are significantly more powerful in draft than any of the others. And you could very easily end up with 3 leaders that are not considered like the best draft leaders. Whereas like someone next to you got Vader, Luke, and some other really strong Von Reg or something. Like
I do think there are better leaders in draft. Like I do think there is just like a tier list for leaders. But I also think
You should make
that
that
if
video.
you're say what?
So I said you should make that video.
I plan to. I part of this is like saying, hey, expect a lot more draft content, at least from me. I just find it so interesting to talk about. But I think a good drafter can still draft a great deck with a leader who's like mid-tier or low tier.
I feel like if you're in like a top tier like draft table and like everybody knows the powerful leaders and what's going on and like all that, like not to feed the opponent next to you who's got Vader like a Victor leader. Like there's stuff like that where you can like like the players of the table see that one person has drafted all the best leaders and they just pass them like the worst possible cards. Like I feel like maybe that's a self-limiting thing.
What if you were able to just pick whatever leader in the set you want to play and you draft? You just draft.
I don't like
You
that.
don't draft the leaders.
No, I don't like
No,
that. Because it's
no.
got to be the same as draft for
pass.
everybody else. Otherwise, it defeats the. It makes it so that it's a different format altogether.
Yeah. So much of the strategy and picking cards is looking to your right and left and knowing what's on the table.
If they change draft to that, then fine. But that's not gonna happen.
No,
it's not.
No. So yeah, I do hope they bring that together. I do want to pivot a little bit, and because you made a comment that you don't want a trilogies format, and we should probably clarify for people who didn't play Star Wars Destiny, but back when Set 4 was released for Star Wars Destiny, they announced a trilogies format, which is basically the current block, because rotation worked the same in Destiny as it does in Star Wars Unlimited. So basically, trilogies was the current block was the only cards legal in that format. So right now it would just be Set 4, and when Set 5 releases, that would be the trilogies format, and then eventually 6, and then when 7 comes around, then it would just be 7, and then 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. So that's like trilogies is what we're saying when we use that. But so you're really, so Mike, you basically said you're really against
I know,
it.
it's funny. we in our text messages earlier, David was like, I want to talk about how cool trilogies format would be. And I was like, cool. I can talk about how much I don't like it.
This perfect. It's
perfect. As a competitive format, right? Not that you wouldn't play it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. As a casual format, sure. But like, I still sort of feel like, I don't know. My question is like, why? Like, what's the point?
Have more side events that you can play at Worlds if you
like
that thing.
Well, I don't understand. Like for me, going to Galactics, I look at these like Premier Pods, like as side events. I'm like, why would I go play Premier Pods? To me, that just sounds super boring. Like that just sounds super boring to me.
Would you play a trilogies pod over a draft pod anyway, though?
I would consider it.
Okay, why?
Yeah, it's more unique expressions of the game. Like where different stuff is happening than just Kira Data Vault against Han Green. Like
sure.
That to me, like some people get a lot of joy from like the best players playing the best decks and all the nuance, and I get bored. Like if I see the same stuff over and over, I just do, and I recognize that's different about me. Like it is unique. Not everyone enjoys their games like that. But for me, something like trilogies, it's like, hey, use your brain in a different way. Try and find something that nobody else has found yet, and
I think I go through phases. Like before regionals, I was in a phase. I was like studying the meta and how my deck could play against different decks. Like that was fun. But then like once that's done, I'm like, oh, I don't want to look at that forever. And now I'm like all playing fun stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I totally get that. Like I don't always want to play Premier.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I guess my arguments against it and sort of like why I don't really like it is like how many players are actually in that same boat and will do that as well? Like how big are those events going to be? Are there going to be enough people that you can pull together to like wrap their brain around an entirely new format that you have to consider. You also like, I don't know, you probably still get your Vader yellows and your, like your whatever set 4 leader plus base, like your Boba yellow. Like I feel like it just becomes like, what are the current best set 4 leaders in Premier, and just like, you know, have less good cards in your deck, and it's kind of the same thing.
It's possible.
I do think that having too many formats is definitely bad. Fab had Blitz, and that was at the beginning, in
Mhm.
addition to all their formats. But what they did was really smart. They had leaders or heroes that existed that were only Blitz heroes.
Yeah.
So like very much differentiated, because you could play these cool new, and it made you want to try Blitz because you could play these cool
That's a
new
good point.
different heroes that don't exist in the Premier format. Swoot doesn't have that right now, and there's literally, wouldn't be like, Blitz is also half health and like smaller deck size. There's literally nothing that would differentiate it. But I do think that having a trilogy format can be easier for a new player to hop into than Premier.
That's fair.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
That is fair.
and eventually, I mean, we're talking in March, so in 9 months, for a new player, sets 1 through 3 are useless because rotation hits.
Sure.
Right.
Once
If
set
someone
7
hops
outside
in
of
right
Twin
now
Suns.
playing trilogies, they're only playing set 4, so they only have to get set 4 stuff, and they can keep up with 5, 6. And then once 7 hits, they can play Premier because they have all the.
So like the
wild
ideal
cards.
on ramp for them is like, okay, play trilogies until like rotation, and then you can just keep your collection going and play Premier
Yeah.
now.
It's an on-ramp.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It is, like I said, they announced trilogies when it was just after set 4 of Star Wars Destiny.
The difference between this and Star Wars Destiny, in my opinion, is one, I think everybody really hated set 2 and 3 for Star Wars Destiny. And so everybody was really glad to not see any of those cards in the format.
Yeah.
And
Fed 2199.
Yep. And freaking Pomaz and all that nonsense.
And Sabine.
Yeah. So there's like, it's just such a different game in that way. And also like all the release schedules got messed up. And so it was like, okay, it makes, I don't know, for some reason it made a little bit more sense in that game. And even then, trilogies didn't get played like that much.
But they supported it. At Adepticon, I played in a big competitive trilogies event.
Yeah,
it was
I
fun.
played at a trilogies Galactic Champion qualifier, whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah, I
something
primes. Were they primes?
I don't think
Is that
so.
a thing? Prime Championship? No. Okay.
I don't know what it was.
Too many names.
But yeah, like I don't know. It was all right. It just like it splits the community up in a way that I don't like, where like everything around the game being super focused when it's a small game and a new game, I think is valuable. When every content creator is talking about the same thing, and like there's 3 different things that you can talk about right now. You can talk about Twin Suns, you can talk about Draft, you can talk about Premier. Like I feel like that's enough. If there's like 2 or 3 different constructed formats that are competitive, then I don't know. There's just like more fragmentation of just like what people are talking about and like thinking about in the game, which I think works for a bigger game, but I don't think Star Wars is big enough to support that yet. It's sort of similar to the reason why I don't really like the Carbonite boxes, even though that's all I opened. Like I like opening them because they have the cards that I want in them, but I don't think they're necessarily good for the game because I don't think the player base is big enough to support them. I feel very similarly about like alternative competitive constructed formats.
It's fascinating too, because Destiny had multiple formats and all this stuff, and you're talking about how this game's not big enough. Their biggest worlds was what, like 500 players or something,
smaller.
And they're anticipating 3,000 people to come to this Worlds,
Yeah.
the very first Worlds. Like, such a bigger game than Destiny was.
But I don't know if it was a good idea for Destiny either.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying it's like I would say it's like 5 times the size of the game that Destiny was.
So
And
okay,
still, it's not like a big game.
the one time I played in a big block constructed format that I really liked was back in the day when I played Magic, There was a Grand Prix, and the format was block constructed, which was the latest 3 sets. But at the time, Magic was doing a thing where the 3 sets per year, like, tied in together into, like, one big theme. And so, like, the mechanics from those 3 sets sort of keyed off of each other. So it would have been as if, like, all 3 sets of the year were all Clone Wars related. And, like, in set 1, you get Coordinate and Exploit. In set 2, you get, like, the When Defeated synergy that works together with Exploit. And you get, like, token generation to the next level, which helps with your Coordinate. And, like, it all sort of feeds into, like, one big thing. And it feels like when you have all 3 of those sets together, that you have, like, sort of a complete thing. And I thought that was really fun, but it's a different dynamic here where every single set is a completely different theme, completely different mechanics that don't necessarily relate back to one another. And that was the same for Destiny as well. It was kind of like, they're just kind of like willy-nilly, like, freestanding sets, which is, like, fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think it works quite as well for, like, a block construction format as something where it's intended to be played together.
Yep.
Because even in Magic, when you would draft, like, set 1, set 2, set 3, like, together.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do, like, 3 packs of set 3 necessarily. So, like, which I do think is really cool. I like that concept. But yeah, I mean, Magic doesn't do that anymore, so they must not like that format anyway.
Yeah, sure.
I also, this is a side tangent, but talking about Twin Suns a lot and how, like, there's not really that many content creators for Twin Suns. There's like 2 content creators that are big for Twin Suns. And there's hardly any draft content that exists. It's all Premiere. But I feel like I like Twin Suns, don't get me wrong. I enjoy playing it. It was really fun to play it at regionals. But one complaint that I have about Twin Suns for this game is that when you look at, like, Commander and Magic, it's fun to talk about and play because Magic is so, like, combo based. Like, they have way stronger combos than this game has. This game doesn't really have combo-y things, in my opinion. That's, like, broken. Like, in Magic, it's like you have cards that are like, bring your entire graveyard back from the dead. And it's like you have 100 dudes on the board now. It's like, I don't know. There's not stuff like that in Sue. Sue is way more balanced and, like, built on that line. Whereas Twin Suns doesn't feel like you're doing, like, insane things. Until you do something funny that's like, everything gets Sentinel and loses Saboteur, or, like, you're putting bounties on your friend's stuff to try and get other people to kill it. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or, like, choose sides where everyone just swaps. I think it works like that.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're doing something combo-y. You're not, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I still like
but the combos are the leaders.
There's not really anything to talk about with Twin Suns. Like, you're going to talk about a deck you built, but it's not that we don't have a deck that's, like, all clones, and every time you put a clone out, you get a +1/+1 counter, and then when you play a clone, you get to look through your deck and play another clone. Like, Magic has that kind of stuff.
They're very intricate synergies where, like, every card triggers off every other card.
Yeah.
I think you also, like, with Twin Suns, I still feel like Twin Suns is almost not at all about the deck that you're playing and all about the table politics. So it's like, that's the thing that you do, can talk about around the game. Like, there are cool combos of leaders and cards together and stuff like that. But I think that the table politics are, like, 60% of the game, and the actual cards that you play are 40%.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what that
maybe
book,
that changes
that book?
in, like, 10 years.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People? It's like an old book. It's like it just makes me want to do the Twin Suns version of.
That's funny.
Like, this is how you do it. Say these words. Don't say these words. But yeah, I don't know. On the combo stuff, I think it's the leaders that, like, like, someone at regionals was telling me they had a Twin Suns deck of Thrawn with Nala Se, because they built it so all the clones, when you flip Nala Se, all the clones get when defeated, heal 2.
Oh, that's
from
funny.
your base. So he was like he would wait till the moment to flip Nala Se when Thrawn's out, and then every clone is double triggering, and healing 4, and like, stuff like that. I'm like, that's hilarious, and I love that kind of stuff. So I've never played Commander, so I can't speak to what you're speaking to, but
I
That's the
okay.
stuff that I
I
enjoy.
played a lot more Twin Suns like in the last 2 months than I have.
I like it.
I-
I'm not
it is-
complaining about playing.
It is very fun. I do enjoy it, but I feel like it would really benefit from a higher health pool. Like I strongly think that they need to have like Twin Sun specific like 40 or 50 health bases that
Yeah.
actually allow players to get to a game state where they can start to do crazy stuff. And maybe we even start with more resources in play, something like that. It's like I want to do crazier things in Twin Suns than I ever actually get to do.
I don't fully disagree. Actually, it could be good, but there are some Twin Suns games that can go on like really long because it's like just the way it's shaping out and all the removal.
Like
and
I've had
that.
Twin Suns games go to like I don't know, like 9 resources, 10 resources, or whatever. But
That's
wanna
far
play,
and few between though.
like I want to
in my
play
opinion.
Devastator and like Bravado in the same turn. Like that's what I want to do.
So everyone's playing Endless Legions.
Yeah, yes. Like I want Endless Legions to be a Twin Suns card, and it is straight up not a viable Twin Suns card because you never get to 14 resources.
Yep, sure.
And that is like, to me, the ideal card for that format.
Yeah, like Twin Suns should start with 3 resources and 40 HP instead of 2 resources and 30.
Yeah, totally change the dynamics of the game. Like, or like draw 3 cards a turn on resource too. Like something crazy that just like ramps things up to 11 and makes it so that you can actually do crazy stuff that is fun and wild and catches people off guard and is like powerful and feels cool. I want to try it. Like draw 3 resource 2 every turn. That sounds fun.
Right. So we went on a tangent.
Yeah.
But back to the formats. I think we need to construct a statement of what we want or think should happen in terms of. I think we all agreed draft should be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where we all landed as to how to incorporate it. So, David, do you want to give us a statement that we would send to FFG to read on their live stream this week?
We're going to handwrite it and deliver it in person at Galactic Championships.
Yeah, I guess
before they go live, they're going to read it to themselves and decide.
and then Tyler be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys convinced me that I would incorporate. I'm changing my opinion from earlier that I think if they added draft to the highest level of Galactic Championships or whatever, it would legitimize it and make it a competitive thing. So I would say just take a page from the playbook of Flesh and Blood, add it in, incorporate it. You know what? I don't know. I'm not good at like creating the structure for stuff like that and like how it's gonna. But I'm saying make it Premier and make Top Cut draft, and I'd be happy.
Wait. You said make Top Cut draft?
Yeah, why not?
No, I would do the opposite.
No. Absolutely not. Top 8 being draft at a world championship? Nah.
I feel
That's not how I
like
would do
Premier
it.
still has to be the Premier format.
Right.
But
yes.
I think incorporating draft and having that be an important element of it is good.
Yeah.
So
all right, so go ahead.
We might be 2 out of 3 on that one.
So what's your statement? Then like I told you I don't create formats. I just want draft to be competitive. That's my statement. I'm like make it a competitive
here's
thing.
how I would do it. I would do in the world where Galactic Championships is an invite-only event with a set number of players, and it's not 600 people in the tournament, you don't have to run 9 rounds. You do like 5 rounds or 6 rounds of constructed. You do 5 rounds or 6 rounds of draft, and then you combine that into a top cut based off of the collective record, and then you play Premier to see who wins.
And no weight on one or the other.
Yeah. I think that would be fine.
Okay.
You're weighting Premier more highly because the top cut would be Premier.
What about people that have day 1 buys?
Day 1 buys are not a thing.
No more
you said
buys.
in
Yeah.
That's
Worlds is
interesting.
invite only, set number of players.
Yeah, like 6 rounds, 6 rounds. 6 rounds of Premier, 6 rounds of draft. Okay. I'd like it. It would definitely make me want to play in competitive events more than I currently want to play in competitive events.
How fun would that be to play in the
What
Galactic
about-
Championships and draft for 6 rounds? That'd be a fun time.
It'd be a lot more fun, yeah.
I'm down.
What about like the qualifiers and stuff? Should they also be that format, or should there be qualifiers that are
That's a good question.
draft, qualifiers that are premier?
I like, for a qualifier, I like either one or the other, but the venue would have the option of which one they do. Because I feel like it does add, like when you combine both together, it does add a lot of like time, complexity, logistics, more so than just doing one or the other. So I feel like that's what I would do.
Okay.
Being a professional organized play manager, obviously.
Duh. Hope Josh is listening. All right. Well, I think we nailed it. I think we covered all
There
our
you go.
bases there.
We'll find out if any of this even remotely matters on
it
Wednesday during the
will.
live stream.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
very
Look,
curious.
Josh is here.
Oh,
Josh
Josh is
said
here
I'm
and
here and listening.
We love you, Josh.
We do love you. Okay. I think that's it for this week's episode. Unless you guys had anything else.
Let me check the old show notes.
The only thing I'll say is...
No, halfway through, I realized that I was like an hour behind in the chat. So I gotta scroll down and read what people said.
It doesn't.
Oh yeah,
it
we have some
auto-scroll.
questions. We have some questions. Let's answer some questions.
Okay, it's got to be quick. I gotta be done in 4 minutes.
Perfect.
4 minutes.
We got time for
I have a heart out.
one question.
All right.
We've recorded for an hour. I have to leave in 4 minutes.
So, best art of set 5. That should be a fast one. We already
Best
talked
art of
about
set
the
5,
leaks.
hands down, is the triptych of the Force gods, the Mortis gods, that they're putting on a mat, and I think are going to be prestige cards. That is the best art, hands down. Don't at me.
That is good art.
I think it's the Ray leader.
You're wrong, but cool.
I don't even know what word did you just use?
Triptych. Like when you got 3 things next to each other. They all combined into one thing.
That's a thing?
You didn't watch the art stream.
Well,
I might go with I'm definitely gonna go with the mace from Worlds.
It's also wrong, but cool.
The mace and the triptych doesn't look that cool.
I agree with you.
He looks kind of weird. The way they did his position.
I like that triptych better than I like the tops playing, trading cards versions of the prestige cards, but I like the one that you're talking about way better than that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the mace from Worlds. Easy.
I respect it.
All right, we hit an hour basically.
There we go. All right. Hey, if you're not in our
Discord,
Discord,
for watching.
Get in the Discord.
And live, I mean.
Yes. Yeah, we have 14 people.
So many.
Yeah, pretty
That's
sweet.
crazy.
It's really sweet. And we should be dropping a draft video maybe this week, right, Mike?
Yeah. We'll drop it this week for sure.
So that'll happen.
Father's
too.
Day put me behind in my editing queue.
Yeah. So anyways, all right, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
Yep.
See you next time.
Bye.